Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, it's the Bill and Corey Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Welcome back to another episode of the Bill and Corey Show. We have the YouTube chat enabled, so if you have any questions, just kind of type them in there. That's one of the advantages of watching it live versus watching on tape delay. First question we got is on flex hoses. It says, hello, I was directed to Matheson from an industrial gas equipment supplier's customer service. I'm looking for pricing and lead time on a 24-inch long pigtail with brass ends and a CGA 580 with integral check valve on it. And this one's for Corey.
So this is the industrial hose. This is the industrial hose that what we believe the questioner was referring to. This one is a Teflon coated on the inside. Now it's great for nonstick cooking, but it can permeate some H2 or hydrogen and helium. And the way this one is constructed, it's got, I mean, it's metal and it's good, but you could drop it, you could pierce it, it can get damaged. We don't sell these hoses anymore, even though we have one physically. This is the hose that we would recommend. This is our specialty gas equipment hose. It is armored. It is, you can see the armoring on the outside keeps it from getting damaged or anything. It does not permeate, H2 or HE compared to this one. And it comes with it comes in 3-foot and 6-foot hoses. Unfortunately, 24-inch, we could possibly special order. We can special order certain lengths, but it takes longer. But our popular sizes are 3, 6, and 10 feet long. And it comes with many different end connections. This one has a CGA 580 by the 1/4-inch male that the customer, customer wanted. Yeah. And so, So please, go if you want to look at all the different hoses we have and the end connections, go to store.mathesongas.com. Yeah,
and it's the hose is inner core is convoluted stainless steel.
Yes, convoluted stainless steel. Yes.
And like Corey says, our standard sizes that you can buy online, and we can build them and ship them within 24 hours are 3, 6, and 10. And we've done others. What other kind of sizes have we?
We've done 20-foot.
And then
12. 15, 2, 5, 4.
Yeah, we've done all sorts.
We just did a 4 and a 5-foot one.
Yeah, it's just kind of wondering why.
Same order, so variety is the spice of life, as they say.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a mouthful. Okay, we're in the process of ordering a model 53/54 gas manifold and a model 3030S or 3040S. Regulator for a 30 psi high purity argon, helium, and nitrogen welding gas system.
3,000 psi.
Yeah. All the pipes in the system are required to be 10 RA electropolished for contamination reasons. Okay, so this is going to be a bunch of things to talk about. I'll handle this one. First is what they're looking for is this kind of manifold. Well, I'll lift it up in a little bit in this kind of regulator. Let me explain a little bit about what a 10 RA finish is. That's for semiconductor purity applications, like 99.9999% or 1 ppm total impurities. Now the RA is not angstrom.
It's not angstrom.
And it's not anybody's fancy name. It's the average. It's a roughness average. So I expected something really highly.
No Vincent Roughness it was named after?
No, it's not Ralph Angstrom, none of that stuff. But really a 10 RA, you get optical devices to measure the roughness of the surface. And a 10 RA is a 10 micro inch is that. Now, the reason why you'd want something like that, and this is for a ultra-high purity welding system, is that contaminants can get trapped in the voids. And when you have a 10 RA finish, which is, like I said, the semiconductor grade purity, it's very little chance for contaminants to hide out in there. So what they were looking for is a 3030 pressure regulator. They want to know if we could 10 RA finish this. Well, if you could, you could 10 RA finish stainless steel. That could be done. But the problem is you've got a lot of things going on here. To start with, you've got pipe thread connections for the gauges and for the all the inlet-outlet fittings. So that's you're going to have big voids right there, and it kind of defeats the purpose of a 10RA finish because it's 10RA, but now you got a pipe thread finish. You got all sorts of voids in there. Also, the 30-30 regulator. This is our one of our high delivery pressure regulators. It can go. We got 1,500 psi delivery and up to 2,500 psi delivery. Well, it's a piston regulator. A lot of our lower pressure regulators are diaphragm regulators. You can get a really good, good purity through that. But with a piston regulator, you're going to have an O-ring seal in there too.
Now, how often do you have to replace the spark plug in a piston regulator?
No,
no? Okay, all right.
It's diesel.
It's okay, all right.
So you're not going to be able to get. You can polish the metal, but with the pipe thread and the piston, you got all sorts of voids. And same thing with the manifold. This is this is for a customer, so it's kind of tie wrapped around there. But this has, pipe thread fittings. It's got a stainless steel butt. This one happens to be brass. It just happens to be what was on the shop floor. And it's got the convoluted flex hose, which is a lot of little voids in there. So you're not going to get the purity that you want.
All those convolutions inside.
All that convolution inside there. So you're not going to get the purity that you want in there. Typically, what you do if you want the ultra high purity 10RA finish is go with a semiconductor grade regulator. And we sell panels too. We don't have one made up to show you, but I can show you that the regulator body comes in this vacuum package, and it's
It's some thick plastic.
It's some thick plastic here. It's not the meat you get at the grocery store vacuum wrapped. So this has a 10RA finish, and you'd put this in a panel that had welded or VCR fittings, which is going to be cut down on your chances of voids and contamination. So that's really the way to go.
And with tubing to connect the two things as well, not.
Right. Oh, you'd get she'd have the tubing. If you're connecting up with a cylinder, it'd be rigid tubing, and it'll be electropolished.
It'd be electropolished, which that would be you can't do a flex hose for UHP. It just defeats the purpose.
And this is a diaphragm regulator. Typically, your ultra high purity semiconductor grade regulators, the max delivery pressure would be 300 psi. So I don't think there's anything out there that's a 10RA finish that will get you up to 1,500.
No, I've not seen it.
So, yeah. Okay, so that's for that question.
We'll keep this guy up here?
Oh, we'll keep this guy up here, yep. Next question, get to bring the 30-30 regulator out again.
Well, you didn't even put it away.
Yeah, I know, might as well had it the whole time. Hello, we have an application we are using bottled nitrogen to deliver a supply pressure of 550 psi. Flow around 5 to 10 liters a minute. I was curious if there's any that would supply 0 to 50 psi range. I'm cautious about putting a supply capability of 1,500 psi near our operators.
Now, it's interesting. This is a question that both Bill and I read, and I read it differently than Bill did, and that's always an interesting thing with questions. I thought it was and I think Bill read it properly, and I don't think I did, where I thought it was somebody being cautious about a 1,500 psi G, anything being around their workers, and that's what I thought was it. But Bill, I think, correctly surmised that the person is worried that somebody might go crank up a regulator to a higher pressure than it needs to be if it's just sitting out there open. But we can talk about that. So there's a few things you can do, especially if you're worried about safety. Obviously, proper PPE, and just a general knowledge about safety pressure, about high pressure safety. Knowing the materials you're using, so that your the two pressure ratings, knowing brass and stainless. Brass, when it gets a little bit higher in sizes, doesn't hold as much as stainless steel, and some people don't realize that. So you got to watch out for that thing. And the one main thing that we can do, after checking all the system, making sure you followed all the safety things, is that we can lower the max delivery pressure of a regulator like that to just be 750 psi G. You take the cap off, And you do a bunch of things to it. You got to crank down the nut, but there's a way to lock it so that it can't go any higher than the 750 psi-G. And so you do a dash S. This would be a dash S regulator, modified regulator, and we can definitely do that for you.
Yes, that's good. We could also lock it at a certain pressure. You know, Corey
that's
was talking about we can set it for a max pressure, and we do that quite often for customers. We got some customers that need it exactly at, or no more than 30 psi or 50 psi or whatever. And there's some customers say they want it locked at a pressure. So we would remove the knob and lock it in there.
But that comes with a little bit of complication because flow rates. There's a lot of stuff that can go into locking down a pressure to a certain thing. So you know what I mean?
Right. That's a good point to bring up because you've got, you know, we could, if we locked it at 750 psi, we would lock it at 750 psi static pressure, and it would also be at a certain inlet pressure. So if it's set at 750 static and you start flowing, it's going to droop
a little
down.
bit,
So it's not going to be 750 for that.
And as the bottle gets lower and lower in pressure,
then the outlet pressure will go up.
Yeah. So that's So those are the two things that to think about if you want to lock a specific pressure in. But in this case, it's just locking in a max pressure that you can't go any higher than a certain thing. So that's a little bit less tricky.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, that's all the questions we're going to cover for this week. Tune in again next week at 10 a.m. for another episode of the Bill and Corey Show. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that little bell, you'll get notified of our new shows and any new videos. And we got some new videos coming up the next few weeks.
All right.
That's it. So we'll see you next week.
Set your VCRs.